welcome back to the crypt. If you've been following me for a little bit, then you know that I called for feedback this last month. You will know from previous videos in this Feedback Theory series that I am terrified of stuff like this. Mostly because I've just never done something at this scale before. It's so overwhelming because it's such a massive project versus a short story, which is my preferred format. But I'm very happy to report that I was able to get some feedback from some of you fellow writers. It's been going good. That being said, I knew that I needed to create a lot of healthy boundaries for myself. So one of the things I knew pretty early on was because there was an ability to add comments onto the document that I provided, I knew I would probably get notifications for comments coming through, and I intentionally tuned those out. Like for most of last month, I mean, granted, I was also very disconnected mentally for a lot of the month. So the times I was connected, I was trying to cram as much reading to give feedback in return as possible, unless I saw someone actually asking a pretty legitimate question or something. But generally speaking, I just kind of like let it go. And the major reason I did was because I know myself, and I know that because of my background, the idea that mistakes were inherently ethically and morally wrong was implanted in my brain at a very young age. You didn't make mistakes, you sinned. Sin is morally wrong. What ends up happening is then later in life, you still have the problem of feeling like when you make a mistake, when you don't do a perfect job, that somehow translates to you being a morally bad person. When you spell it out like that is ridiculous. I know that's ridiculous. In my head, I'm very much scared of, oh my God, I made so many mistakes in this draft. I made so many mistakes, they're going to hate me. Like, they must think I'm a horrible person and that I shouldn't be writing, that I shouldn't even try to write characters or stories. And again, like, there's a logic side of me that knows that that's a ridiculous conclusion to leap to, right? Because there's no precedent for it. There's no reason to believe that. I certainly don't believe that about other people when I read their stuff. Unless they're writing something intentionally very messed up and has some, like, really scary implications, real world implications. But outside of something extreme like that, which honestly doesn't happen very often, one of the things I've talked about in the series prior was also that how I see feedback is that the other person is always right in a way, because they are telling you, so long as everything's in good faith, of course, they're telling you their honest experience with your work. Something that's really helped me without completely falling for the mindset of doom, and that is to see all of the things I'm getting as opportunities. For some reason, that just helps my brain quite a bit more of thinking of it as opportunity, and also thinking of the people who are giving me this feedback as allies who truly care about my development. And I don't mean that in a very surface level, like business transaction way. I mean it as actually caring. Because this isn't really a business transaction. I mean, I've been able to like give feedback in return, but one, I don't have a ton of experience in giving feedback on stuff that big. And so I'm not sure how useful it is. And two, to read a novel and give feedback for it is actually a lot of labor, especially when it's this early on in the production phase, because it's just so early in development. If they're not going to believe in you, they wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? In those ways really helped keep the panic down. Also really helped when I started going through the information and categorizing it as these are major problems, these are minor problems, etc. So in my brain, I'm kind of stuck in a phase that has two parts: the listen part and the do part. There is no speaking part, really. I mean, I'm talking to you about the process, but I mean, there's no like me speaking to people who give feedback or editors should only be in the context of making sure they have the file, you know, answering any questions they have, but that's it. Never do I ever want to argue with anybody over anything, because again, I believe them to be inherently right. Even if I personally don't agree, where I'm like, that's not what I was going for. But the fact that the reader thought I was going for something else indicates that I did not specify the way I should have, which is still on me. At the end of the day, I just need to get this better. I believe is the only really legit response you can give, is to thank the person for their time, energy, and labor, and then just do the thing. Apply as much as you can and try again. I think it's a skill that's very hard to learn because we're such a reactionary culture, especially these days. The knee-jerk is to react, to stitch that video and give a reaction. Reaction videos have taken off for a long time now. Like, it's been years since the first reaction video started taking off on this platform alone, let alone all the quick form content that exists now that's taking off, which is also very heavily steeped in reaction. But I found that, like, the best way to keep myself sane was to not react, to not allow myself to react. And it's not as bad as I feared. As usual, like, there's definitely stuff I need to fix. There's some large issues that need to be fixed, some overarching things like the politics of my world and some elements of relationships between some major characters that really need to be solidified better earlier on. Like, there are some huge things that need to be fixed. Speaking of the listening and then applying, that whole application, I'm going to try to start that. I'm not going to finish it, let's be real, but I'm going to try to start that in events coming up real soon, and only a few days from when this is posted. So 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday evening we are going to start, and this is going to be a 3-day event. I'm going to be writing for 5-ish hours. I will be taking a break of around 30 minutes. I have a blog post talking about the times if you're interested. I would love to see you guys pop in and out. You do not have to be there for the full time. I want to thank you guys again for helping me out during feedback season. Thank you especially to RA. Your feedback was probably one of the most detailed I received, and I am so grateful for it. I got a lot of amazing ideas and directions of, like, okay, this is the stuff, this is the problem, go for it. And also Lou, who also gave me feedback, which I'm going over, thank you so much. And also another person who I'm not sure if they want to be named or not, so they will remain a little bit a mystery, but they know who they are. Thank you so much to each and every one who gave me feedback. It has been great. It's been going quite well. So thank you so much for watching. And if you are interested in this content or other bits of writing and editing content, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification down below so you are notified when new videos go live. I hope to see some of you guys pop in and out of the lives here and there, be it because you're editing yourself or just want to use my videos to motivate you to do other things. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you there. Bye.